Seems good fortune that my enemies have fallen upon each other like ravenous dogs, not knowing the icy tendrils of winter wind their way down from the north. This may be the perfect opportunity to weaken them all, and grant me the time I need to set my plans into motion. Hello Wanderers, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Clan Stjarna. And as you will no doubt remember, the events of the last episode left us in quite an interesting spot, as our two enemies, Karelia and Novgorod, went to war against each other, offering us an opportunity to strike against our enemy, King Rurik. And strike we did. We raised a force of brave Norse raiders and traveled down the rivers and through the lakes all the way to the capital of Novgorod itself. And while Rurik was distracted leading his armies up north in Karelia, we raided his capital city and took ourselves a prisoner. Indeed, his newborn child, Vasilko Rurikovich Rurikid, is now our prisoner. And I was considering what to do with our prisoner here, and as some people had stated in the comments, and as I was also thinking myself, raising this child to be an enemy of Rurik would be the ultimate form of revenge, and I think it makes perfect sense for Styrkar, who is patient and vengeful. The idea of raising this child, perhaps even as one of our own, maybe not of Clan Stjarna, but essentially as a ward of us, raising him to hate the Novgorodians, hate his own father, that would be the most satisfying revenge of all, I think. Now, obviously, game mechanics are a little bit unfeasible for pulling off such a maneuver just normally, but I did figure out some ways to play around with the mechanics and get this to work. At least I think it should work like this. So as you can see, I have added the disinherited trait to Vasilko, and this will prevent him from inheriting any titles should Rurik die an untimely death. Now, this obviously makes sense because this child is in our court. Or, well, yeah, he's in our court. We don't have him in the dungeon. He's just in under house arrest. And obviously, there's no way that a newborn child, essentially, would be able to inherit titles in Novgorod while he's in our prison. So we've given him the disinherited title. This will prevent him from coming over to Novgorod's realm. Should Rurik die, we'll be able to keep him in our prison. And what I intend to do, I'm going to keep him as a prisoner for the next couple years. This should offer Rurik an opportunity to try to wage a war to get his son back, which I think is pretty important that he has the option of doing that. But if we can keep the child in our prison for about the next 6 years or so, until the time that he is ready to be able to accept a guardian, if we can get him to that point, then we will negotiate his release and recruit him into our court. But I don't want to do that right away because I don't want to I want to leave Rurik the chance of trying to free the kid from prison. So I think that should work pretty nicely. And I think overall it should be fairly well done. Now, we do have some other prisoners here, and I would like to deal with them now. Tolek Engolk here, he was a rebel. I think he was the leader of some of those rebels who rose up against us. So, as with all rebels, we will be executing him, sacrificing him to the Norse gods. Andiamo here, I don't actually recall where Andiamo came from, but he's actually a pretty good character, a wise man, a herbalist, and a witch, which is a crime to a Satru, but not a crime to us because we are in fact a witch ourselves. So I think we are actually going to negotiate his release. And we are going to recruit him to our court. Will we demand his conversion? No, I think we'll allow, because we want to learn the magic of the Uko Nusko people. So we're going to bring him to our court, and we are going to have him teach us his ways. So we'll negotiate his release. And then, of course, Gurli, who was our former Riksgothi, is imprisoned because she was grave robbing. And I considered what to do with her. And I think the best option would be to banish her from our realm. She's a good character, but we can't simply tolerate grave robbers. It just doesn't make sense for superstitious people to accept something like that. So we will be banishing her. Now, before we get time moving, I'm sure you guys are curious as to what's going on in the realm. And there's not too much. Gretier is raising his young son here, who doesn't seem to be taking after his father too much. He's more of a thinker than his father was. Gretier the Foolish, well, people only call him the Foolish behind his back. Otherwise, they're liable to get their heads ripped off. And then we also have Frothy, and I am sure many of you will be happy to know that Frothy's wife is with child, even at 40 years of age. So Frothy's dynasty of House Kevrola will not end with him. It will continue on. And that pretty much sums up events in our realm for the most part. And we can hire a court physician, and I am tempted to... Well, we could have our Riksgothi do it. You know what? I might wait until we get that Uko Nusko guy here. And even though he won't like us, I think we can raise up his opinion of us enough so that he won't, like, poison us in our sleep or something like that. It's entirely possible he might try to do that, but we shall see. So there we go. He is in our court. Minus 63. Yeah, we probably don't want to have him joining in any plots against us, that's for sure. So I think we'll raise his opinion of us. So we'll sway him over. And, well, actually, I don't know if we'll be able to do this at the same time, because I actually do have a plan to act against our enemy, High Chieftain Turay. And I know there were some mysterious advisors who came to King Styrkar suggesting he may be able to form an alliance with Corellia, which does have its merits. He does have a granddaughter who is only a few years older than our newborn son. But I think that throwing Corellia into disarray would be much more useful. Killing him and having his realm split amongst his sons seems like it would be a far better way to protect ourselves than to have an unstable alliance with a man who no doubt hates us. So we will start a murder plot against him, and we can convince his court physician to join in. And this is probably the reason why we don't want our court physician to be hating us, because look at that success chance right there, 45 and another plus 30 to the scheme power. That should give us a pretty much guaranteed kill here with High Chieftain Turay. So while the Corellians and Turay go to war, there we go, Gurli has been banished. I do want to... Oh, we still didn't raise our tribal authority. We meant to do this like 2 episodes ago. All right, we're going to do it now. There we go. But what I want to do is raise our folks once again as raiders. We're going to lead them ourselves. And we are going to head here into High Chieftain Turay's land. Now, this could be pretty useful for us. We may capture some prisoners here, and if not, we'll get a little bit of extra added revenge against Ture before the eventual assassination plot works in our favor. Bewinged messenger. As my scheme moves closer to fruition, swift communication is key. I have an especially clever pigeon, which Arhipa could use to send an urgent message to me here in Hólmgang, if the need arises. But how would I get the bird into the castle of Salanis? A local bird trainer could be delivered as a gift. If I send the gift myself, High Chieftain Ture couldn't refuse. It is too risky. Well, I don't think... messenger pigeon. I don't think we really need to do this. Any gift that comes from us is going to raise suspicions. I did also see that our control in Hólmgang is low again, so while our troops go on this raid here, I'm going to have Gretier raise the control there. How does Gretier raise control? Well, I imagine he tells people they better get in line, else they may have their heads ripped off. The existence of my plot to murder High Chieftain Ture has been discovered. While my involvement is not known, this will make it a lot more difficult to bring my plans to fruition. Curses. So he knows that somebody's trying to kill him. Ooh, that's lowered the chance significantly. Scheme is exposed. So we might need to bring in another person here. Let's bribe his court tutor and his court jester. Nobody ever expects the jester. That should give us, that should bring our chance back up decently. Ooh, okay. Rurik is raiding or besieging his capital. Well, we don't want to get too close to Rurik's forces. That would be just asking for trouble, essentially. So why don't we move in here and we'll just raid some of his lands temporarily here. All right, we managed to bring... Okay, so our chances are back up even though he knows someone's after him. But he probably doesn't expect that his children's teacher and his court jester are planning on murdering him. So while that raid goes on, we're going to let this siege go down here. I have a feeling Karelia is going to lose this war, but I wouldn't mind if they ended up getting into a battle here. Karelia probably should realize that he does need to basically fight Rurik's army if he has any chance of winning here. Yeah, okay, let's raid this place as well. Hopefully we'll get this raider trait at some point, or Viking trait. I don't know, actually, we might need to go further afield to get the Viking trait. Could we go on a super long raid? It's possible, but I think we're more concerned with events here at home. So the raids shall continue. We'll keep an eye on things over here. I'm not too worried about the Karelians just yet, but there's always the possibility that they'll come after us here. Nice, we captured Chiefess Tuliki. Who is she from? She's from some sort of dynasty here. Can we ransom you? Yeah, sure. We'll ransom you. You can pay for your freedom. The time has come. My agents are in place. One of them will pay the assassin. They'll pay the assassin the very night the deed will happen. Another will ensure the wall is unguarded. A third will leave a subtle trail of candles to High Chieftain's bedchamber. What's the candles for? I'm not really sure, but 83% chance that High Chieftain Ture is killed and a 17% chance that the scheme is discovered. Do it. The assassin performed spectacularly, and the High Chieftain Ture of Karelia is finally dead. Thankfully, my involvement in the crime remains unknown. No doubt they will suspect instead that it was the Novgorodians who were responsible, as they are the ones attacking them right now. So I think we pulled that off pretty good, and as you can see, his lands have been split in two between his two sons, one of whom is still at war with the Novgorodians, and the other of whom is just a 15-year-old child. And can we go and raid his lands? Indeed we can, though we will take a little bit of attrition. Am I willing to accept 100 casualties? I think that would be fine. And as for our intrigue perk, we are going to go down towards the kidnapper route. Now, I know some people were suggesting that we could deal with Rurik now, and it's entirely possible that we could pull off a pretty good murder scheme against him. But I almost want him to live, because I really want to pull off this scheme of having his son turn against him. I would love if Rurik lived to be an old man and then take the ultimate revenge upon him. We're not too worried. I mean, he could have another son, but his wife is 35. It's entirely possible. And if that were to happen, we would have to deal with that situation. But we are patient and we are vengeful and we want to pull off this ultimate revenge. So I think we're going to take that risk. That doesn't mean we're not going to continue to act against him. Oh, and there, the Karelians lost the war. Well, that is unfortunate for them, but not a bad thing for us. But yeah, like I was saying, I want to pull off the ultimate revenge against Novgorod. Getting a little fight here. Didn't work out too badly there. And our troops are making their way here. Like I said, we'll take a little bit of attrition here, but it could be worse. Actually, we might as well raid this place while we're at it, right? What are these guys gonna do? Try to... Oh, they actually have a big army. Well, if they decide to come against us here, we'll put Gretier in charge and let him do his thing, you know. You know how Gretier does. Ripping folks' heads off and whatnot. Oh yeah, looks like this battle might not go super well for us. Alright, Gretier, I suppose it's about time to do your thing. You know, let's charge right at them. Spymaster has come to me with grave news. While we do not yet know who, someone is trying to steal from me. We must stop the villain behind this. I suspect that this may be Rurik. Perhaps he's coming for his Warhammer, which we can definitely equip. Let's get our Worn Language Manual as well. And as you can see here, Chieftain's Warhammer, plus 3 prowess, plus 5% raid speed. Pretty good altogether. Alright, hopefully we should be able to win this battle. I mean, let's face it, Gretier will probably kill half these people himself. Hreirekr was injured, but yeah, looks like we're going to win this one. Sweet smiles and little lies. Just like other children his age, my son and heir Styrbjorn sometimes lies and tests boundaries. However, he often avoids suspicions with his sweet demeanor. People always forgive him when he does get caught. I wonder just how much he gets away with. So he's charming. Well, perhaps he'll be a little bit more of a charmer than his father is. Ooh, they've already been raided. So we lost that opportunity, unfortunately. Can we come and take Salinas from behind? Ooh, king or peasant, high or low, it does not matter in the end. We are feeling sick. Send for a physician now. Hreirekr is wounded. Okay, looks like we definitely need a physician. We could get on Yamo, but like I said, he really doesn't like us that much. We should start swaying him now since we don't have any other schemes going on. Yeah, let's if we were to, well, let's see who we got here anyways. A mad woman who knows her job pretty well, honestly. Could work. Or this guy who really literally knows nothing about medicine. 50 coins? No, I think we're gonna, you know, I think we're gonna risk it. Gonna put Andiamo in charge here. And can I offer him a bribe? 15? Yeah, there we go. That's a lot cheaper than 50. So yeah, we'll offer him a bribe and we'll get Andiamo to be our court physician. Hopefully he'll be able to keep us alive for a little while longer. Court event available. A courtier scorned. Why would you honor that churl Andiamo with a position at court and not me? My steward Helgi is livid. You have a position at court, Helgi. You are the steward. And a champion. Quit your whining. Oh, come off it. You're right, you deserve a position? No. Quit your whining. You have 2 positions. Get over yourself, Helgi. And don't you dare question my decision. Yeah, we're gonna come and try to raid Salinas here. Sway, Meshera culture. A commoner of Meshera heritage has been accosted in the streets of Kolmogari over some minor offense. I'm pretty sure the only Meshera guy, is Andiamo. By making a statement in their defense, I could perhaps convince my champion Andiamo the equally Meshera of my good character. But I might risk alienating my Norse peers. Well, we are a person who does want to make inroads with the people of this region, so yeah, let's do it. And we'll win over our guy there. We are promoting cultural acceptance with the Biarmians. I don't know what that level of acceptance is right now. We can do a quick little check. Biarmian. There we go. Only 2%. It's probably because we've been fighting a lot of wars against them. Shouldn't take too long to bring that back up though. A few years, we might get some good events as well. And we are no longer ill. So, oh, she's pregnant again? Oh, okay. Whew. Man, she's got a lot of kids. I know a lot of people were thinking if we do capture her, we may make her a concubine, though she may be too old by the time that event happens, but she's had quite a few pretty good kids here. Though there is the possibility that eventually we could basically subsume Rurik's line into our own by marrying our son to one of his daughters. Because we do want to end his line, but it's not that we just want to like wipe out every last member of his blood. It's that we want to reduce his memory, the memory of his line, to dust, so that when people think of this land, they will think not of King Rurik, but of King Styrkar. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Oh man, we do not have a lot of raiders left. Are we going to be able to pull this off? He's got a lot of troops. I mean, let's try it, I suppose. Oh man, he's going to raise up his troops and come after us here. We probably... I mean, he's probably going to win this one. We do have a lot of loot. I think we're gonna pull back here. It's not worth the risk of all the loot that we have. Oh wait, we're doing the... Oh, I hate that. When it does the raid before you can actually move there. All right, Gretier. Rip some heads. Oh wow. Well, there you go. Frothy doing well. Oh man, we might actually win this fight. He outnumbered us almost 2-1. But the champions are probably going to kill almost everybody here. Damn. Those Norse champions. They are crazy. Can't believe we actually won that fight. Let's take a look at the details of that panel. Yeah, we killed Sampo. Injured one of their guys. Few injuries. Look at that. Gretier. I know somebody said that it's not just Gretier, but I like to think that the majority of this is Gretier killing those guys. So yeah, we got a bunch of loot here. 48 out of 60. Alright, let's return home here. Bring our loot back. And that will be a successful raid. Can we disband our armies, please? Apparently there's still... Oh, there we go. Disband. There we go. So we successfully raided our enemies. We basically fully dealt with Karelia here. They're not going to be much of a threat at all. Oh, we've imprisoned his daughter. Well, you know what? We could... I wonder, we could keep his daughter in our court and eventually marry her to Styrbjorn. You know, I think we're going to recruit her. We'll demand her conversion. That'll wear off after a little while. And we will keep her in our court. And perhaps, if we need to, can use her as a hostage, or perhaps as a way to get inroads with Karelia if we need an alliance or something of that sort. So there we go. Now she is part of our court here. And yeah, like I said, I wouldn't actually be opposed to marrying her to Styrbjorn. Then we could potentially press claims on Karelia. Obviously, we could just attack them right now. You know, just conquer them how you would normally do as a tribal ruler, but I don't think we want to do that just yet. And Andiamo is being swayed to our side. Would you like to get married, Andiamo? Perhaps to a nice Vepsian woman? Why not? There we go. So perhaps they will produce some children who will later be good courtiers. And overall, things are going pretty well in the kingdom. How old? I mean, it's been about a year or two. Oh, Helgi lost an eye now? Jeez. Poor Helgi. The guy's just falling apart. Oh, man. Brutal. Well. Oh, and now Rurik's gone reclusive. Well, that's not so bad. He's having a rough time. Visiting the local market, a merchant from a faraway land catches my attention. Come closer, my lord. Marvel at treasures never seen before in these lands. Had to watch my back to get these beauties out, I did. Never sleeping with both eyes closed. The merchant might have more to give me than marvels from afar. Must be interesting traveling as much as you do. We could gain the more vigilant perk. It's not too bad. He will tell me what he knows. You know what? I think we will just make him tell us what he knows here. Oh, the abhorrent churl Gretier makes my blood boil. How could Odin see fit to curse the earth with Gretier's reclusive wickedness? No, it is obvious. He is Loki's kin. He is worse than both putrid boil and ravenous locust. I cannot stand the mere thought of breathing the same aromatic air as him. I must do something. I must act. My sanity depends on it. I will not rest until Gretier is dead and buried. No, I will not let vengeance rule my... I'm pretty sure we've let vengeance rule our life for a long time. And honestly, I like this. You know what? I was kind of hoping that we would start a rivalry with Gretier at some point. And I am happy to start this. Not because I think that this was a sane or smart thing, but because Gretier is a man who probably feels like he should be ruling Clan Stjarna. He may not be a direct member of Clan Stjarna, but he is probably a distant cousin, and he may think that he is the better ruler. Yeah, you can become a rival. Could we duel Gretier? It wouldn't be to death. We have 30. He has 40. I mean, I'm kind of tempted. To, I mean, he still likes us a little bit. But oh man, this would not be an easy fight. I wonder what the difference between 30 and 40 is. You know what? Let's try this. You know what? Let us challenge Gretier to a fight. And I think this is the way I see it. Gretier has been proving himself to be a powerful force within the clan, and he has been a good ally, but he's always wanted more. So actually what we're gonna do is you know what, I think what we're gonna do, and I don't know if I can't just grant him independence, but we're going to duel Gretier because he has been challenging our authority here. And if we lose the duel, I'm going to find some way, if I can, I might have to use console commands or whatnot, but we'll try to find some way of either granting Gretier independence because he's just breaking away from the clan, or some other approximation of that. We'll have to see. I don't know how I'll make this work, but I think this makes a lot of sense. So yeah, we are going to challenge Gretier to a duel. This may not go well for us, but if we win... Oh, what? Frothy just died? Oh my gosh. The day that we challenge Gretier to a duel, Frothy dies of his wounds. You know, perhaps this is what sparked Gretier to challenge us. I think he saw Frothy as a potential rival, and maybe kind of, you know, Frothy was like a pretty good warrior and pretty prestigious in the clan. So maybe Gretier held off from challenging us while Frothy was still alive. But once Frothy was wounded and sickening from his wounds, Gretier decided that now would be the time to challenge us. And well, challenge us he does. So I don't know, how are we gonna do this? Man, he's gonna be so tough to beat. For a few brief moments, Chieftain Gretier and I pace lazily in half circles, each waiting for an opening. I raise my war hammer, ready to defend myself, while he clutches his fine spear firmly to hand. This fight may only be till first blood, but that doesn't ease my nerves. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Gretier counters with a fierce hail of thrusting jabs, almost running me through repeatedly. All right, what are we gonna do here? Strike, parry, riposte. We'll gain a little bit of stress, but that could be... I wonder, should we play defensively? He's a bit older, but he's got the whole body thing going on here. Think he could beat someone as famous as me? We could make fun of his poor level of fame. Hey, it's pretty low prestige. You know what? I think we're going to do some riposte encounters here. I leap into action, launching a flurry of rapid thumps, driving myself hard against Gretier's guard, wearing him down with each expertly timed strike. Gretier shifts into a defensive stance, his spear forming a damned near impenetrable wall of perfect parries between me and him. My form is good, with only small errors, and Gretier's stance is formidable. My opponent is still holding up my blows well, but he seems close to faltering. Oh, can we actually get him? An opening, try my steel churl, using our prestige, or our intrigue, I suppose. We could attack him with immense speed, striking at him with a momentary weak point. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Still going, we haven't lost yet, you guys. With all my strength, I surge past Gretier's guard and launch a fervent strike with my hammer, aiming to crush him. Only the narrowest of margins stops me from claiming bloody victory. Gretier shifts into a defensive stance, his spear forming another impenetrable wall. Gretier's stance is formidable once again. We could go on into a guard, tire his opponent. I think that we should... Yeah, let's go defensive for a little bit here. My hammer is a better protector than any shield, parrying, countering, and guarding against Gretier's every move. Wherever he moves his spear, my hammer is there, waiting. Gretier pulls back from my every blow, letting me attack without getting another solid hit in. It's not long before I can feel myself beginning to tire. My form is excellent, with little chance for mistake, and Gretier's stance is incredible. Oh man, this fight, jeez. I'll show you how I raise my hammer. Medium risk to our... Oh yeah, okay, this looks good. High likelihood to our chance of success. I think that we are going to go for this. And we were defeated. I wield my hammer with expertise and grace, but even an expert makes mistakes. In the middle of a calculated, risky, rapid thump, my opponent shunts my own weapon back at me with a well-placed parry. Dodging my hammer puts me squarely in the path of Gretier's spear, and though the blow stops short of lethal harm, it sends me hurtling to the ground. My weapon flies off as I fall. Here, I think we'll say we'll rue the day. So... Gretier did defeat us in that combat, and that may be a blow to our prestige and to our position in the clan. But when we were called out by Gretier, when he challenged our authority, we had no choice but to defend ourselves with steel. And unfortunately, Gretier the Foolish, Gretier the Berserker, was more than a match for us in terms of skill with a weapon. So, like I said, we're going to find some way to arrange for Gretier to break off from the clan as he takes his warriors and leaves. And we will see the consequences of that and of Frothy's death in the next episode, which I think is going to be a pretty interesting one. So if you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Definitely more episodes of this coming out soon, as well as the clan or House Drango playthrough. Until the next time, everyone, I have been Stray. You have all been absolutely wonderful, and we will see you in the next episode.